See, people with power understand exactly one thing: violence. We shouldn't be looking for heroes, we should be looking for good ideas. If we don't believe in freedom of expression for people we despise, we don't believe in it at all. The smart way to keep people passive and obedient is to strictly limit the spectrum of acceptable opinion, but allow very lively debate within that spectrum. Optimism is a strategy for making a better future. Because unless you believe that the future can be better, you are unlikely to step up and take responsibility for making it so. Everyone's worried about stopping terrorism. Well, there's really an easy way: stop participating in it. For the powerful, crimes are those that others commit. It is the responsibility of intellectuals to speak the truth and expose lies. It's not radical Islam that worries the US, it's independence. The more you can increase fear of drugs, crime, welfare mothers, immigrants and aliens, the more you control all of the people. How it is we have so much information, but know so little. It is important to bear in mind that political campaigns are designed by the same people who sell toothpaste and cars. Science is a bit like the joke about the drunk who is looking under a lamppost for a key that he has lost on the other side of the street, because that's where the light is. It has no other choice. It's only terrorism if they do it to us. When we do much worse to them, it's not terrorism. No honest journalist should be willing to describe himself or herself as embedded. To say, "I'm an embedded journalist," is to say, "I'm a government propagandist." State propaganda, when supported by the educated classes and when no deviation is permitted from it, can have a big effect. It was a lesson learned by Hitler and many others, and it has been pursued to this day. The intellectual tradition is one of servility to power, and if I didn't betray it I'd be ashamed of myself. Don't be obsessed with tactics but with purpose. Tactics have a half-life. Passivity may be the easy course, but it is hardly the honorable one. Discovery is the ability to be puzzled by simple things. Peace is preferable to war. But it's not an absolute value, and so we always ask, what kind of peace? The general population doesn't know what's happening, and it doesn't even know that it doesn't know. Education must provide the opportunities for self-fulfillment. It can at best provide a rich and challenging environment for the individual to explore, in his own way. Religion is based on the idea that God is an imbecile. Wanton killing of innocent civilians is terrorism, not a war against terrorism. Historical amnesia is a dangerous phenomenon not only because it undermines moral and intellectual integrity but also because it lays the groundwork for crimes that still lie ahead. Anarchists try to identify power structures. They urge those exercising power to justify themselves. This justification does not succeed most of the time. People tend to rally around power. I do not feel that we should set up people as models, rather actions, thoughts, principles. Students who acquire large debts putting themselves through school are unlikely to think about changing society. When you trap people in a system of debt, they can't afford the time to think. Tuition fee increases are a disciplinary technique, and, by the time students graduate, they are not only loaded with debt, but have also internalized the disciplinarian culture. This makes them efficient components of the consumer economy. The point of advertising is to destroy markets. The countries that have developed economically are those which were not colonized by the West. Every country that was colonized by the West is a total wreck. Large corporate advertisers on television will rarely sponsor programs that engage in serious criticisms of corporate activities, such as the problem of environmental degradation, the workings of the military-industrial complex, or corporate support of and benefits from third world tyrannies. Large corporations have resources to influence media and overwhelm the political process, and do so accordingly. Thinking is a human feature. Will AI someday really think? That's like asking if submarines swim. If you call it swimming, then robots will think, yes. Not all evils can be rectified, but ongoing evils surely should stop. Reading a book is an intellectual exercise, which stimulates thought, questions. Willingness to be puzzled is a valuable trait to cultivate, from childhood to advanced inquiry. In fact, most of what they're calling crime is a kid caught with a joint in his pocket. Why do people think of that as the problem?